Top of the morning. So up at the farm, still stinking hot. Been keeping that water going all week into the lake. So I think I've done about 1.5 million litres through the lake now. I've just done all my parameter testing and everything's back to its normal baseline, which is super encouraging and super, it takes a lot of weight off the mind. So I'm gonna give it one more day and then start to reintroduce some feed. Probably not at the levels that I was, because I'll monitor and see how everything goes. But I will start to reintroduce a little bit, probably at about sort of 1%. And then if it maintains, I think, hopefully we're going to get some rain, maybe over the weekend, early next week. And that'll be quite nice. Just cool these temperatures down a little bit and get us some fresh water coming in. Could do with like a proper downpour and get the river going again, but we shall see. So everything else is looking good. Fish are still feeding very, very well all around the lake. So when I got here, just fish all over, bubbling. Obviously I haven't been feeding any pellet or any maize, so they've just been getting right on the naturals. And everything's looking good. So fingers crossed. We dodged a bullet there with that ammonia creeping up and the higher pH. And hopefully we're on the back end of it now. And, you know, we're probably, about a month away from, autumn sort of starting to get started. And then I'll be moaning about it being too wet, won't I? Oh, yeah, we've got, hopefully the mechanic, I've got the part from America. Got the mechanic turning up Friday morning. And I just hope, I need to get the machine going so I can get these jobs finished here, get everything done. I can get the big cat back to Fensmere and I can start thinking about the diversion channel work that needs to be done, which would be really the last major works there to get everything certified and passed. So fingers crossed we get that done and I can get working next week in the machine. All right, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so I've done another load of parameter testing today. It's all really back to normal. pH has dropped right back down to 7.5 to 8. Ammonia's off the bottom of the scale, which was the major worry, and nitrate's all stabilised. Sodium nitrate's all stabilised. So I've reintroduced feeding, and it is an absolute froth fest. I don't know if you can catch it all. I think you can. I mean, they're just going absolutely ballistic. So, maximum conversion time at this time of year. So I want to try and get the maximum bang for my buck from this pellet and from the feed I'm putting in. It's a combination of the garlic maize that I make. I do like a horse feed tub, which is probably about 35 kilos a day go in, as well as the feeder out there, which is now feeding around 20 kilos a day on 3 different feeds. So it does a feed first thing in the morning, does a feed, it's just done a feed midday, and does a feed later on in the afternoon. And then I feed from this one here with about another 5 to 8 kilos. So it's a fair bit of grub going in, and hopefully we'll see these fish really responding come harvest time. They're certainly feeding now, and I'm feeling a lot happier about it. Up the top there, little one just moved. Up the top there, I'm doing the last water change in here, and the last bit of water coming. Yeah, so the last bit of water coming through into the lake for this moment in time. We had a little bit of rain last night, but a trickle really, nothing major. It's looking like there could be a break in the weather the sort of middle of next week. So we've got about 2 or 3 more days of this heat, and then we're going to drop down to the sort of mid to low 20s, and hopefully we'll have some rain just to get that back down into that aquifers if we can, and maybe get a flush through here would be even better. Flush the top lake as well would be fantastic. So we'll see how it goes, fingers crossed. And I know there's a lot of fisheries out there, both here and in France and in the UK, that are sort of desperate for a bit of water. So fingers crossed for everybody. I hope everyone's doing all right and everything's okay. So good luck all. I wanted to personally thank everybody for the comments overnight from the release of of the water video, testing the water parameters and the higher pH and ammonia. So you know, it's great when I can get really educated people, you know, commenting on the channel. It helps not only myself, but it helps many other fishery owners here and back in the UK to better manage their lakes and get better outcomes. You know, there's nothing worse than the amount of effort and time that goes into it, and then just not getting things right, and then having a right dead set shocker. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone's comments and personal messages that people have sent as well. So thank you very much indeed. Right, up there, the old cat. Got the pump's going to be fixed tomorrow. Gotta be fixed tomorrow, and then it's all guns blazing. I'm going to be getting the bypass channel finished, which has been waiting for bloody ages. Hopefully while it's still dry, get that sorted and done, which would be fantastic. I've got the top area that always floods. I've got to dig the channel out there and put some French drain type setups coming into the lake to bypass that water, so it's always passable and manageable up there. And then I'm gonna get the quarry going here with all of my rock, and put, I don't know, 100 tons or more over the trails here to really winterize them for winter, so I can get around here without it being a sloggy mud fest. Last things, if I've got the chance, I've got another couple of weeks fishing coming up the end of September, beginning of October. So if I can before that time, I'm also going to dig my other silt trap stock pond here at the farm, which will take my C1s for this winter. I'll have then C2s that will come out of this lake, which will go into the Leany pond to bring them through. And I'm probably not going to touch the top lake this winter. I'm going to leave it be, and just let them fish be and just continue to feed. The only other thing I can do, if it's possible, water levels come down quite a bit. I haven't wanted to remove boards from that top lake like I potentially could to lower the level, to get the digger and get the excavator into that top end of the top lake, to dig out that sort of quarter acre that I've got up there, which is not usable at this moment in time. It's the area that I cleared all the trees from, and the plan is to take that down to a couple of 2 to 3 foot deep, and it just increases that surface area of that lake and the growing potential for the fish in there. So if I can get the chance to do that, I'm going to. So it's going to be all holes. It's going to be all guns blazing, as I say. I'm going to be flat out like a lizard drinking. And hopefully I can get all this work done. And I'll take you on the journey of getting it all done. There'll be plenty of carnage, as there always is, as you know, with me. So, yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. All right, so I just thought I'd do another. It's Friday. Got the guy coming up for the machine. Should have been here by now, so he better bloody turn up or there's going to be trouble. Thought I'd just keep you updated with, you know, with what's happening on the lake, and I've been carrying out tests every day. I've stopped water now. I don't need to have any more come through, but everything is looking bang on now. I mean, there we go now. Look, I've managed to go back to my more accurate pH tester, which is a pH, as you can see, 6 to 7.6, I think it is, 6 to 7.6. So you can see now we've come right back down to 7 on the pH. I'll test it later on this afternoon because we do get pH shifts through the day. But it's 9:30 now. And the NH4, it's the ammonia. There we go, look, spot on. There isn't any in the water, basically. So that's fantastic. Super happy with that. I'll just go around to DO2. DO2, yeah, it's hovering between 8.9 and 9. So, you know, high 90s, 95% saturation. That'll probably go up as the day goes on, which is, you know, relatively usual for a lake with a good algal bloom in it. So, yeah. Fish are feeding like buggery. Let's have a look down here. There we go, look, having it large. So, yeah, everything's good. Super happy. Yes! Finally! We've got the cat going. Needed a new pump, fuel pump. And we're up and running. And thank goodness. So, I can finally get a load of work done, which has been really stressing me. I haven't been able to get it on. Yeah, that's a big smile. I'm so stoked. I can actually start backfilling and start getting this whole thing on the road again. Absolutely fantastic. I'm made up with it because I've got about a month to do all this work up here now, and before we get into rain again, so I really needed to get all this done, and I'm so happy. Get in, yes. Okay, so machine's working, first job done. I've got scaffold poles to cut for tomorrow to come up to start with the diversion. But this area here was an area that consistently floods. It was a load of trees overhanging and I could never get in here anyway. But this area was consistently flooding across into the lake from here. So I've dug a channel and then created a bund around into that top corner there. I was actually going to put like a French drain across, but it's a low area, so I think now with this bund I don't need to do that, and hopefully it will mean that this doesn't become a quagmire, which is a nightmare because I can't get round it in the winter with a machine without making a huge mess. And hopefully now with this this channel, show you. Hopefully with this channel and a bund, as you can see, it will stop the flow coming in, which is a low paddock there that floods and then would come into here. So this will fill, hopefully, it's all clay bottom there anyway. So I've just rounded that top off of the bund, so that'll all grow with grass over the course of the next month or so, and it will blend in. But hopefully that'll do the job and stop this all flooding. That would be bloody marvellous. And this will be the job for tomorrow. Should get this finished tomorrow. God, that'd be a weight off my shoulders, I tell you. Those old concrete poles here, or would have been, I don't know, telegraph poles or whatever. As soon as I've backfilled all of this, I'm going to lay them along this top section as well. But what I've got to do is, there's these trees here, so I'm going to cut them, strip them, they're long lengths, lay them along this low side around the lake side, and then drive scaffold poles. Well, I'm actually going to drive the scaffold poles first, and then between these areas and the tops of these poles, not all of them, but I shall do them at 8-foot centres, something like that. I've got high tensile steel which I'll put around the scaffold pole there, across to the scaffold pole there, and it'll lay under the ground. And then I'll put the tree against it and then backfill up. And then it means that it can't push out because it'll be pushing against that, and that can't push out because it'll be pushing and pulling that. So hopefully that all made sense. It's about as clear as mud, I expect, but hopefully that'll be the job. And then all this can get backfilled. I'll just dig this river stream out, which will give us a bit more flow this winter. Fill in all this low area here. I slashed all this today, earlier this morning, so I could get a good vision of it. And oh man, it's going to be so good. I can't wait. Then I can get the tractor all the way around here instead of having to waste time with a slasher or strimmer, which is a ball ache. You know, this low area here, there's plenty of fill has got to go in here. As you can see, huge amounts to fill that right up. Trees along this side, and then it'll come right up to height. I'll dig that little bit out there, which will backfill all of that, and then then that'll all be done. Fantastic. Yeah, so such a relief. Get the machine going. You know, the longer it keeps dragging on that I couldn't get it going, the longer I was thinking I was just going to face it. It'll just pour down with rain, and then I'm behind the 8 ball and everything. But it's amazing, again, as soon as you start with a big machine, just how much work can be achieved in a very, very short period of time. In a few hours, I've had that channel dug, bund done, trees cleared, done. You know, if you're trying to do it any other way with even a small machine, you'd be there for days, you know. So, you know, big machines, they're costly. but they do the job fantastically well and super quick. So instead of taking 10 years to get everything sorted, it'll be done in 5. All right, I'll catch you later, guys. We've just got to give these fish an extra feed. I've got the pellets all gone in today, but I've got some garlic maize for them as well. So I'll do that. I'm going to get home and have a cold beer. Catch you, bye-bye. Okay, guys, so we're filling today. I haven't quite got enough of this high tensile wire, so I can only do a section today. So I'm just going to be doing this one section here. But as you can see, I'm going through there with the wire, and then posts are on this side. Now at the moment I haven't got the trees there. I had a shocker this morning and lost the keys to the actual cat. I'd left him in the bloody thing, but I spent an hour at home messing around trying to find them, so I didn't get me chainsaw. So remember that along here between these is going to be a tree trunk, and then I can backfill against that, and then basically the weight of the earth between the tree trunk and that is supported from them posts to those posts through this high tensile steel wire, which would be under full tension. And I should be able to get this bit done today through here, up to level, and then part 1's done. It's bloody hot again, so yeah, that was not what I needed this morning with the keys. Oh, I tell you, when you're multitasking everything and trying to do multiple things all the time, especially when it's hot, sometimes the old head just goes, and certainly went this morning. I lost my temper. Anyway, we're getting there. So if I can get this bit done today, then I've only got one more bit to do up the other end, and then this will all be sorted. I'll hopefully get it done by tomorrow, because there's rain forecast then for Tuesday, which is just sod's law. But I've got the rest of those areas done behind here as well, which I'll show you later on. I did some video of it yesterday, which is like a channel and a bund to stop the water flooding into the top of the lake. So hopefully all of these measures that I'm putting into place will solve my flooding issue for this winter, and a little bit of stress anyway. All right, catch you, bye-bye. All right, the first bit done. This was the first section that was the real problem. This is where it was overflowing all last winter and the winter before. It's now raised at least a foot, and I could raise it even more if I need to. Learnt a bit doing that first backfill that I need to basically put those wires literally onto every pole. So it's pretty labour intensive. I've actually put one of the old poles across there, one of the concrete poles, to act as a secondary barrier. It has blown out on a couple of sections just up there. It's just pushed that one out, as you can see, just over there. It's pushed that one out, needed a wire on it, but it certainly isn't going to go anywhere, and it's 99.99999% better than it was when it was completely open and flooding across here into the lake last year. Once I get the timber through on this side tomorrow, once I bring the chainsaw up, put the timber across on this side, I can fully backfill that, then completely level it, and then I can come back through. But as I say, I actually need, it's not going to happen tomorrow, because I actually need that wire, and I need to put it pretty much on every post. So that's what I'm going to have to do on all of these, just to make sure that we don't get them blowing out. Not that it really worries, but it's aesthetic. It does my head in when it don't look right. Anyway, there we go. First bit done. Happy. Before the rain starts, it also means I've used a lot of the backfill from actually dredging out this stream, which means that we've got more depth in there this winter, so we should have a better flow rate through there anyway. So there we go. All right, let's get on with some other stuff now until I get some more of that high tensile steel.